You're listening to the Redditch Standard podcast because you have impeccable taste.
Hi there, my name's Ross Crawford and welcome to the Redditch Standard podcast. Joining us in the studio today is none other than Philip Jarvis. Hello there, Philip.
Good morning, Ross.
Philip, in case you don't know, is the Vice Chair of Redditch Royal British Legion, and he was here last year telling us all about Remembrance Sunday and the special occasion of it being 100 years to the day that the guns fell silent on the 11th of the 11th, wasn't it?
That's correct, yes.
This year, of course, Remembrance Sunday falls on the 10th. So there's going to be two ceremonies, aren't there? There's going to be one on the 10th and there's going to be one on the 11th.
That's right, yes.
What's going to be happening on Sunday the 10th of November, Remembrance Sunday?
Well, on the 10th, there's going to be a parade starting in Grove Street by Hughes's car park, round about 10:25, 10:30. The parade will form up just there and it will parade up Ulster Street along the pedestrian area. I think it's still called Ulster Street.
It's still called Ulster Street?
Yes. A lot of people said, where's Ulster Street? I said, where the pedestrian area is. Yes, it will go up there and it will arrive, fingers crossed, hopefully round about 20 to 11, quarter to 11, at the War Memorial by St Stephen's Church, where there will be a short ceremony just there up to 11 o'clock.
And it's going to be quite a sight, isn't it? Because there's going to be a marching band, there's going to be cadets, reservists,
the standards, the Royal British Legion standards, that's right, the Union standard as well. RAFA will be there. A number of organisations as well will be there at the same time, yes, that's right. Another poignant thing, I've asked the tower captain of the St Stephen's Church, Jenny Freeman, they will be muffling the bells. Oh, right. So it's half muffled. So there'll be a sort of a ring and then it will be replied. The bells will then reply to it with the muffle sound, which sounds very poignant. They did it last year and they're going to do it this year, hopefully, but they've got to go up and muffle the bells on the Friday afternoon.
But you're not going to be doing that?
No, I'm not doing that, no. I don't like heights going up there.
Yeah, that's the thing about Redditch. I always reckon that wherever you are, you can either see the Tower of St Stephen's or the Water Tower.
That's right.
They're the two sites of Redditch, aren't
that's
they?
right, yes.
Wherever you are. So everyone's invited to this, and normally Redditch really turns out in force, doesn't it, for Remembrance Sunday?
They do, yes. I'm anticipating not so many as last year, but we might be well surprised, about 800 to 1,000 to 1,500 people in and around the War Memorial.
And, people are there because, they're paying due respect to our armed forces, to the sacrifices they've made over the years. Do you still think do you still think they're relevant today?
Oh, yes. It's when I was a teenager, a lot of people were saying when there was the Remembrance service in St Stephen's and the War Memorial festivities for Remembrance Sunday, a lot of people said, "Oh, this will die off now. It's going to die off." But it's gone the opposite. It's got more and more and more and more throughout the years, going up to. Well, I'm in my early 70s now. But
you don't look it.
Oh, thank you very much. But it's getting more and more. Whether or not it's going to be supported more than last year, I'm not so sure. But we will see on Sunday.
Why do you think there's been this increase in support for Remembrance Sunday?
Publicity, I think. Also, all the battlefield tours, which are happening by these various companies, Ledger particularly. They're going out to all the war graves and the dam busters, the Great Escape, everything like that. It's publicised more and more and more, and a lot more veterans are going out to see graves of their colleagues and family members of their loved ones, such as myself, going to my uncle's grave. My late father, who took part in the Battle of the Somme, his brother, named Philip, I was named after him, he lost his life on the Third Battle of Ypres, and he's buried close to Ypres itself at Klein Claston Cemetery, just there. And I've visited 2 or 3 times over the last 3 or 4 years to his grave.
Well, I was quite fortunate because both my grandfathers survived the war. You know, they both fought, but
Yeah.
they both survived. But I remember I went on holiday, myself and my wife. We flew to Lyon, and then we cycled from Lyon back to Britain.
You cycled?
Cycled, yes. Well, you know, it's what you do, isn't it? So we pedalled there, and obviously we went through the battlefields of the First World War as we went the further north we went. And it was incredibly poignant. I mean, we weren't there for any special reason, but to see the British graves so well tended and tucked away in corners of France and Belgium, and also to see the German war graves. I mean, it was incredibly touching.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. Yes. Because if as you come really into France and you start to go on the motorways, if you look, then you can sort of see cemeteries dotted all over the place, even about a half a dozen graves in the middle of a farmer's field, with just a roadway going up to it. That's where those particular soldiers fell.
Yeah, but they're so well looked after. Who looks after those?
Commonwealth War Graves Commission.
Right.
Commonwealth War Graves Commission, yes. In fact, they come to Redditch, to Plymouth Road.
Really?
They look after the graves in Plymouth Road, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And Abbey Road Cemetery, down by Bawdsley Abbey.
Yes, yeah.
They look after that. They're supposed to come every year, I think, or something like that.
Right.
But the Royal British Legion, I think the Parachute Regiment as well in Redditch, keep a wary eye on them. And if they do need it tidying up or the stones need to be cleaned, we then get in touch with the Commonwealth War Graves Commission.
And they send somebody out. And
they send somebody out and do it.
The job.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. And now, just moving slightly off the subject, but staying on the subject, if you see what I mean. I know you're a fan of The Apprentice, and I was astonished. This was, the BBC series.
I know what you're going to say.
Wednesday. I was astonished last Wednesday, I think it was.
It was.
When they had to find a book that was published pre-war, and some of the candidates didn't know the dates of the war.
I know. I was absolutely astounded. I rang my partner up, actually, and she rang. As soon as the phone went, she said, I know what you're going to say. I'm up in mad.
You know, the young people today,
They just don't
not even
know.
young people, they were 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, well, I visited Burton Sales School, which I'm going to go in and do an assembly on Friday morning, and all those youngsters there all know about the dates of the war, because there's a very, very good teacher down there, Melanie Vaughan. She installs in them the dates. In fact, they're going out next year to the battlefields in July. Right. But these young ultimapreneurs, what I think they're called, I never can say that word, I was so astounded they didn't know that.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, and another thing, when the other series, Lord Sugar said, well, we will meet you at Pinewood Studios. Everybody knows what Pinewood Studios is, and they said it was was it a furniture store or something like that? I didn't know that even.
Yeah. The place where James Bond was filmed and shot and created.
Didn't know that. No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Right. So on Sunday they're marching up to the War Memorial outside St Stephen's, and then what's going to happen?
We'll go into St Stephen's Church for a short service. I've missed out the wreath laying.
And the 2-minute silence.
The 2-minute silence. I've jumped the gun. Sorry, I've jumped the gun. Yes, there will be the 2-minute silence, and there will be the exhortation, which is they shall grow not old, etc. 2-minute silence. The last post, Reveille and the Kohima, where I will say, when you go home, tell them of us and say, for you tomorrow we gave our today. Then there will be the wreath laying, which I'm going to try and do in about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, to save people getting too cold. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like, but
I think it's going to be cold, isn't it?
It's going to be cold, but according to the police, they think it's going to have a few showers up to 11 o'clock, but after that it'll be all right. I'm not going to give you the laying of the wreath order, but the Deputy Lord Lieutenant, Major General Mark Armstrong, will lay the first wreath on behalf of the Queen.
Top brass then.
That's it. And then there will be Deputy Mayor Gareth Prosser, together with the leader of the council, Matt Dormer, and there will be Bill Harness as well going up. But everybody will be going up in groups to keep it flowing. That's what I'm going to try to do, to say, because it's going to be so cold there and people will be standing for long periods. So I'm going to be conscious of that. After that, we'll go into St Stephen's Church for about 45 minutes, an hour service. And then afterwards, the parade will then go back down to Grove Street, and the mayor and the Civic Party will take the final salute outside the town hall.
Right. And so that's Sunday. And what's happening on Monday?
Monday, because it's Armistice Day on Monday, so there will be a 2-minute silence at 11 o'clock, really, all over the country. It's going to be in Plymouth Road by the Cenotaph, the Gardens of Remembrance. A short service starting from about 11 to 11 o'clock. And I've got about 100 children coming. There'll be 90 children from Viner School, and Melanie from Birchenside School, bringing some pupils from there, and more senior pupils from Trinity High School as well. It's going to be more a relaxed, informal service rather than it's going to be formal up here in the town centre on the Sunday.
Okay. Well, it's going to be... Well, I think it's fantastic that all the children are getting involved.
Oh, they always do. They always do, yeah. And as I said, they all know it. They're all installed about these dates.
Yes.
But these other people on the apprentice, well, I'm not going to go...
Clueless, aren't they? Clueless.
Clueless, yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's great. Philip, thanks for coming in. I know you're going to stick around because we've got a few news things to chat about. But first of all, we're going to cut to Claire, who's got everything that's happening in Redditch this weekend and beyond. Over to you, Claire.
For all the things to do and see this week, it's Claire Bullivant with this week's What's On Guide.
Thanks, Ross. Loads going on this weekend, starting today on Friday, the 8th of November. Bonfire night is still going on as there's another firework night happening at the Abbey Hotel. This is going to be a traditional autumn 3-course hot buffet, a live firework display and family disco, 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. It's on every year and it's always fantastic, so do try and check it out. Also tonight, the fabulous Redditch charity bikers are holding a special social night at the Dog in Mappleborough Green. That's 6:30 p.m. there. And is anyone there? Is anyone there? I sometimes feel like that listening to the show. Maybe Psychic Sally can tell me, because Britain's favourite psychic is back in Redditch with her 10 years and counting tour, and she's at the Palace Theatre tonight. Yes, tonight. Do get your tickets. If there are any left, they might only be single seats, but try and get along. It's a 7:30 p.m. start there. Also at the Palace tonight are the Lost Films of World War II. My dad will like this one. This will be in the studio and is an illustrated talk by television programme maker David Parker. 7:45 p.m. there. Moving on to Saturday, the 9th of November. Who likes a good game of darts? If so, there's a darts tournament open to everyone at the Eagle. The Eagle is on 335 Evesham Road, and it's all raising funds for Help for Heroes. It's a £1 entry fee. There's going to be a raffle, lots of hot and cold food to keep you fueled and ready, and it's a 2 p.m. start there. So do try and get there on Saturday afternoon if you fancy a game of darts. Keep out of the black and in the red. There's nothing in this game for two in a bed. That's the wrong game, right? But you dart players will know what I mean. If you fancy some theatre and great music on Saturday night, Big Girls Don't Cry is on at the Palace Theatre, featuring the East Coast Boys, so you can step back in time to the era of romance. It's going to be a great show, 7:30 p.m. there. There's also live music going on over at the Southcrest Hotel with Rouge on Saturday evening. These guys are amazing. They're a 6-piece band with live saxophone. They play songs from all ages, all eras, and just basically aim at getting everyone on the dance floor. It's great fun, 7 p.m. And I love the Southcrest. Who's been there recently? It's been totally refurbished and it's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. And they also do the best afternoon teas if you're interested in that. More fireworks on Saturday with the Studley School's Firework Extravaganza 2019 happening at Studley High School on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. And the Royal British Legion, they have a Festival of Remembrance concert that they want everyone to go to on Saturday evening at St Nicholas Church in Ulster, and it's all in aid of the Poppy Appeal. 7 p.m. start there. And it's Remembrance Day this Sunday, the 10th of November. Loads going on at your local churches and in villages all over. Obviously, we can't mention everything, but I will give details of the Redditch and Ulster events. Redditch Remembrance Day Parade is once again going to be a wonderful event to be part of and witness with all the armed forces, bands and dignitaries there. If you want to experience the whole event, meet at 10:15 on Grove Street for the parade. At 10:45 a.m. outside the church, and at 11 a.m. obviously there'll be the 2-minute silence and wreath laying. Then at 11:15 St Stephen's Church, there'll be the full service. That's St Stephen's Church on the church green. Then in Ulster, the Ulster Remembrance Day Parade will be from Bleachfield Street car park. Short outdoor service there on the church green, followed by the traditional service in St Nicholas Church afterwards. And you should probably aim to get there about 10:30 over in Ulster. Then on Monday, the 11th of November, it's Armistice Day, and there will be Armistice Day services happening all over as well. The one that I'm going to go to is the one on Plymouth Road by the Cenotaph, 10:30 a.m. start there. And of course, the country will fall silent at 11 a.m. in memory of all those who have lost their lives and served in our armed forces. Very important day for us all. Then moving on to Tuesday, the 12th of November. Love him or loathe him, he's a bit like Marmite, isn't he? Jim Davidson will be coming to Redditch and at the Palace Theatre on Tuesday and Wednesday evening. Are you fed up of this PC world, he wants to know? Well, come and see him. He puts the world to rights. It's his brand new and outrageous show. It really is truly outrageous, he tells me. 7:30 p.m. start there. And I hope you have a lovely weekend, everyone. And remember, if you have an event going on, tell us so we can tell everyone in the paper, on our website, on all our social media channels. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on them all. And also here on this podcast. Back to you, Ross.
That's great, Claire. So much going on in Redditch. I was at Joe Brown on Thursday night, and he was fantastic, utterly fantastic. I love the guy. Moving on to, we've got a few news items to chat about, Philip. And, well, the first one is, I guess, is plans to redevelop the town centre. These were...
Oh, dear. Right, go on, far away.
Let's be a bit positive here. Well,
yeah.
The aim under these plans, and they've been developed over quite a few years actually, is dividing, would you believe, the town centre into 4 quarters. We're going to have the station and residential. And I know that you're a fan of the railways. And
yes, railway historian, yeah.
Railway historian, that's right. And so you know all about Redditch Railway Station and the days when it used to go south through the tunnel to Studley, over that bridge, which the council wants to demolish, but we'll steer away from that bridge.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
We don't want to talk about the bridge. And the fact that it's the only surviving bridge, railway bridge left between Redditch and Evesham, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, so it's got quite historical value in it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to mention the fact that the Victorians built it and it's going to last another 100 years, do we?
Well, it will be, yes.
Yeah.
Like the tunnel, it's still there, and it's okay, the tunnel is.
But we can't mention that bridge.
No, we don't make the bridge.
We don't want to mention the bridge.
I'm certainly going to have a word with Matt Dormer about it when I pull his leg, when I see him about it.
Yeah, that's
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. But, and, you know, we fully support you in that. But yes, to divide the town centre into 4 quarters, there's the station residential. And I think when we're talking about the residential, it's what is currently the Edward Street car park. I think there have been plans in to redevelop that and put quite a number of houses up.
On the site of really Able Morals, wasn't it?
That's right, yes, the old Able Moral factory. And as a sign of the times, these houses are going to have electric car charging points and things like that. It's going to be quite forward thinking, I think. So there's going to be station and residential, education and enterprise, which is going to be the college. And
the college is still remaining, is it? Well, it will be, wouldn't it? Because it's
it's a vital part of the town centre, isn't it? And enterprise, I guess that they're referring to Church Green. And there's going to be retail and leisure, Kingfisher Shopping Centre, and public sector and culture, which I guess is the town hall. Although Council Leader Matt Dormer, he's kind of open-minded about the council staying in the town hall, and the Palace Theatre, of course, as part of the cultural offering. And one interesting thing about these plans is that it would lead to the demolition of the library, which you were surprised about.
I was surprised with that because it's a new library. You know, it's.
Well, it's got to be 40 years old, isn't it? 40?
It's about 40 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What struck me was that they've just moved the job centre in there.
Well, this is it. They moved everything. They moved everybody else. The job centre's gone in there. You know, it's a lovely building, and they want to get rid of it.
Yeah. But the idea is that if they demolish the library, it would open up all the space behind the library, stretching down to the back of Threadneedle House, the back of Debenhams, which at the moment is just dead space at the moment, isn't it? It's,
yes, that's right.
You know, with the old Royal Square.
Because I can remember the old Royal Square where they had the market.
Yeah.
The market there was a lovely position for it, even though the market really, in my father's day, in the early 1900s, was in the marketplace where it is now. Because everybody says, well, if it's the market, it's got to be in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think from these plans that St Stephen's will stay the same. And you reckon that St Stephen's has stayed the same, that triangle, for well over 100 years?
Well, the pathways going in and around St Stephen's Church Yard has been like that for over 100 years. It's the same positioning, the same angles, the same bends where the seats are, and even where the bandstand is. It's always exactly how it was, even though the bandstand just before the Second World War was thatched.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was thatched. Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Oh, you can't be backtracking now.
No, I think I was told there was rumours about it, but there's been no photos of it. Yeah. But my father did say that at one time, but I don't know. I can't find any record. I don't know if anybody sees this and they say, well, yes, it was. It'd be nice to hear from them.
Yeah, I think it's great that they got plans to evolve the town centre, but also retain its historic heart.
I think a lot of people, when they arrive into Redditch, they say, quite the bit on the right's a dump. Because the old Albemarle building, which was there, and it was being very, very slow to be demolished, people said, what a flipping dump that is. Yeah. And you've got that lovely Kingfisher shopping centre over on the left. And you see that dump on the right, people started thinking, well, are they going to do anything about it? But apparently they are.
Yes.
Because originally, when the Kingfisher shopping centre was built originally, the old railway station in Plymouth Road, the other side, the Bromsgrove Road Bridge, that was where the station was going to be.
Oh, right.
So the trains could then go in, people would then get out of the train and walk up an escalator into the Kingfisher Shopping Centre.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what they originally said, but this is what the Redditch Development Corporation wanted. But unfortunately, British Rail at that point, I don't think it was called Network Rail at that point.
It would have been British Rail.
It would have been British Rail, or it could have been British Railways in the 60s. They said, no, that's going to go, and you can have the station on the other side of the Bromsgrove Road in Pound Meadow, because all that area where all the buildings and all the goods yard, that was known as Pound Meadow.
Right, before my time, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that was Pound Meadow, yeah.
That's interesting, because I guess if the railway station had been on the other side of Bromsgrove Road, it would have linked in perfectly with the bus station, the Kingfisher.
That was the idea.
Whole thing.
That didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, because at the moment you've either got to cross Bromsgrove Road on foot.
That's right.
At street level, or you go through the tunnel, don't you?
Yes,
and
that's
then
right. Yeah.
Up the other side, and you've got to go around the bend and then back into the bus station. That's interesting. Yeah. And I guess the other thing is with these plans, I understand that they're going to retain the facade of Smallwood Hospital. I think that's going to stay, but I think behind it there's going to be more residential areas. I think the number of people there, or a number of houses and flats they intend to put into the town centre runs into the hundreds, several hundreds. So
there's going to be flats there, is it all?
Well, I don't know about flats and townhouses, I guess.
Yes, right.
But at the moment, it's all pie in the sky, if I could say that, because these are all plans that Redditch is up for some cash from the Towns Fund, the government's Towns Fund. We were under the impression last week, certainly Rachel McLean's spokesperson in Redditch, he indicated that Redditch had already got some money for that. But in fact, we're still working on the plans. The government has given us £173,000 to develop these town centre plans, but we haven't got our hands on the millions yet.
Okay.
And we don't know if we're going to get the millions yet. But obviously, if you come up with plans ambitious enough, hopefully we'll get the cash.
Good.
Yeah. And finally, just to round up, we've got a young lady in Redditch. Her name is Lauren Carrington, and she's been, for the last 18 months, she's been raising money for guide dogs for the blind. And
that's good.
she's on the cusp of reaching her target of £2,500 for guide dogs for the blind. She's 11 years old. Her mum is partially sighted, and she embarked on this fundraising drive when she discovered just how valuable her mum's guide dog was. She only knew a mum with 2 guide dogs. Her mum's had 4 guide dogs over the years. And there was a time when poor old Lauren had to look after her mum because she didn't have a dog. There was a break between dogs. And it was only then that she came to realise just how important a guide dog is for her mum. So she embarked on this fundraising effort. She's already raised £2,400. She's been putting away her pocket money each week. She's saved £180 in pocket money. She's climbed Snowdon. She's done numerous things, all raising money for guide dogs. And she's a pupil at Walkwood Middle.
Of my old school, I went there.
Is that right?
Yes,
Your old school?
I went there in the 1960s when it opened.
My goodness.
That was when it was a county secondary school.
Ah.
Yeah, the county secondary school.
Well, there's a thread there.
In the old days, as we call it, you know. Yeah. And of course, as I said, we're all in our 70s now. The pupils weren't there in the 60s. We're all in our 70s.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope you weren't including me in that.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry, Ross.
Yes, they're going to hold a party where she can break that £2,500 barrier. It's at Redditch Golf Club. It's on November the 23rd. And the idea, there's going to be loads going on. There's going to be a band playing for free. There's going to be loads of raffle prizes. There's going to be an auction. And the aim is to smash that £2,500 barrier. It's on November the 23rd. As I said, it's at Redditch Golf Club. And to get tickets are, I think they're only a few quid. If you email party@singleton.com, you can get your hands on some tickets. That's party@singleton.com, and help Lauren smash the £2,500 barrier for guide dogs for the blind.
That's good. Well done to her.
Yeah, well done, Lauren. Philip, thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure, Ross. We'll see you on Sunday.
You'll see me on Sunday.
And Monday.
And on Monday. I'll be there on both days.
Okay, thank you.
Because for me, it's an important day.
It is.
There's no two doubts about it. Or no doubts about it even. It's such an important day. So thanks for coming in and explaining everything that's happening on Sunday and Monday. Thanks too for Claire for telling us all about what's happening in Redditch this weekend and beyond. My name is Ross Crawford. You've been listening to the Redditch Standard podcast. You can contact me at ross.crawford@bullivantmedia.com or at editor@redditchstandard.co.uk. Or you can give me a call on 01527 588 697. And don't forget to check out all your latest news at www.redditchstandard.co.uk. See you next week. Bye.